sequence your body calls you to do something different or to make a modification, then please listen to this. There is no right way to do asana. It's really one of the greatest gifts that we can achieve or receive from our asana practice is stepping into and learning to listen to our own bodily wisdom, to our own innate intuition. And so please, you know your body best, and if it's telling you to do something, then listen to that. Often following the body and its calling brings great benefits for us. So all that being said, I'd like to invite you to come down into a cross-legged position with me. You can be in a half lotus or full lotus or kneeling. Grab some blankets and bolsters and pillows, sit in a chair, do whatever it is you feel you need to do. And then finding this position, take note of your breath. Close the eyes or soften the gaze. Take some big inhalations and exhalations. And if it's in your practice, you can engage ujjayi, slight restriction of the muscles, the glottis muscles at the back of the throat, also known as ocean breath or Darth Vader breath. Just making the breath a little bit more audible. Lengthening through the spine, softening the shoulders, softening the face. Feeling the weight of your body against the earth or against the chair, the pillows. Feel with each inhale you lengthen through the vertebrae of the spine, and with each exhale you soften all the rest of the body. Bring the left hand, the back of the left hand, on top of the left knee. We'll bring the thumb and the index finger together into Yani Mudra. Index finger is kind of signifying our ego, our lower self. And the thumb is signifying our divinity, our holiness. And then bringing them together, we have this connection, and from connecting these two, we cultivate self-knowledge, an understanding of ourselves, both as divine and human. And we can bring the right hand up towards the forehead. Middle finger will touch the center of the forehead, so not between the eyebrows, but in the center of the forehead. And ring finger will come down to left nostril. Thumb will come over right nostril. Blocking the right nostril, go ahead and inhale a full inhalation through the left nostril. Hold the breath for a moment, plugging both nostrils. And when you're ready, exhaling out of the right. Inhaling through the right. Blocking both nostrils, holding for a moment. And then exhaling out of the left. Continuing at your own pace, alternating each nostril, inhaling through one, holding momentarily, and then exhaling through the other. Doing our best to keep the inhalations and the exhalations equally lengthed. Again, if you're new to this, we're inhaling through one nostril, blocking both nostrils, and then exhaling through the right nostril. Inhaling through the right, blocking and holding the breath, exhaling out of the left. And if for whatever reason this mudra on the face feels uncomfortable for you, it's no problem to block the nostrils in whatever way works for you. It's also possible to simply visualize the breath coming in through the left, out through the right, in through the right, out through the left. And we'll do 2 more rounds. Finishing with an exhalation out of the left nostril, the right hand can come down and also into Yani Mudra. Analoma Viloma, or alternate nostril breathing, helps to bring balance between Ida and Pingala Nadi, 2 of the main channels running through the spine. Bringing balance to the nostrils brings the energy into Sushumna Nadi, the central channel. Having the energy flow through Sushumna Nadi is really one of the main goals of Hatha Yoga. Hatha Yoga is the balancing of the lunar and the solar. And so really we're always bringing balance to our being mentally, physically, and emotionally, even energetically, when we're doing our Hatha Yoga practice. However, today we're going to focus even more on balance, as well as joy, the joy of being. Taking a few more breaths here, feel as though the energy is flowing down through the skull to the base of the spine on an inhale. And on an exhale, it's rising through Sushumna Nadi and shining out of the top of your head. A few more breaths like this. Inhaling, energy flowing down through Sushumna Nadi. Exhaling, energy flowing up and shining out of the skull. Very good. And on our next inhale, we're going to rock right up onto a tabletop. Fingers spread wide, wrists, elbows, shoulders stacked, knees and hips stacked. We're going to move with the breath through the spine like a wave. Inhaling, the tailbone turns up. The wave moves through the spine and then the head turns up. Exhaling, the tailbone turns down, that wave moves through the spine, and then the head comes down. Moving at your own pace. Inhaling, tailbone, and then head. Exhaling, tailbone, and then head. Two more big breaths. Coming back to a neutral spine, coming back to your tabletop. Turn and make a C with the spine, bringing the left shoulder towards the left hip. Bring your gaze over the left hip. Big breath here. And moving through center and then gazing over the right shoulder, making a C with the spine once again. Waking up the digestive system. And over to the other side. And one more time over the right. And back to center. Inhaling, we'll kick that right leg back behind us, putting intention through the toes. If you'd like, you can incorporate the left hand. Exhaling, we'll curl it in, bringing the knee towards the forehead. And inhaling, lengthen. Moving at your own pace. Inhaling, lengthening through the arm and the leg, or just the leg. Exhaling, squeezing it in. Taking a moment to hold and balance, find your breath. Making sure you're not locking that right elbow. Exhale, release, coming back to your tabletop. Take a moment to shake it out if you need, maybe through the wrist or through the hips. And then preparing to do the same thing on the opposite side. Inhaling and lengthening through both arm and leg, only if you did so on the opposite side. And exhaling, curling it in. Moving as fast or as slow as you'd like. And then inhaling and lengthening, holding in a balancing posture for Manipura chakra here. Breathing. Grounding down through the hand and the leg. And on your next exhale, release, and we'll take a moment back in a kneeling posture. Energy flowing through the right and left side. Possibly starting to burn that tamas energy, that energy of inertia. We're going to rise up onto our knees here. Make sure the knees are stacked beneath the hips. We're going to come back into a camel pose. So you have a few options here. You can grab a chair and just gently lean back. You can grab a hold of blocks or anything else you have around the house and lean back. You can grab a hold of ankles, doing whatever you feel you need to do. You can also bring the hands to the hips and just open up through the chest like this, squeezing those shoulder blades wherever you are. Big belly breaths. An opening of the nadis all through the front body, pushing those hips forward. 2 more big breaths. Inhaling, slowly rising up. We're going to come over onto our right side, onto a fist or onto our hand. And we're going to extend that left leg and left arm out to the sides and exhaling, squeeze it in. Inhaling, lengthen. Exhaling, squeezing. Moving in your own breath pace. Doing your best to make the inhalations and exhalations equally lengthed. Our inhalation is this yin, receptive energy, and our exhalation is this yang, emissive energy. 2 more big breaths. And slowly releasing, can come back to a kneeling posture. Take a moment just simply to perceive the body and the energy here. Possibly a sense of asymmetry, energy and blood flowing in one side more than it is in the other. Remembering our ujjayi, our slight restriction of the breath. Remember that your teacher, or one of your teachers, can be your breath. If you're finding that it's short or restricted or shaky, this can be an indication that we're pushing the body into a place it's not yet ready to go, or maybe not wanting to go today. Preparing to move into the same thing on the other side, coming down onto your hand or your fist or block even, extending that right leg and that right arm, exhaling, curling it in. Inhaling, lengthen, exhaling, curl, moving at your own pace. Equally lengthed inhalations and exhalations, balancing the yin and the yang simply through our breath. 1 more big breath. And exhaling, coming back to that kneeling posture. Take a moment. Resting as the witness. Focusing to perceive energy flowing through the body. Nice long inhalations and exhalations. An awakening of Manipura chakra, the navel chakra. Feel this element of fire. And when you're ready, we're going to curl those toes under and push back into a downward dog. Take a moment to pedal those legs, bending one knee and then the other. Fingers spread wide. Micro bend in the elbows. And then bending the knees as deeply as you need to have length through the spine. Or rooting down through the heels. Inhaling, we'll lift that right leg up. Draw circles with the toes. Exhaling, bring the right leg down. Inhaling, left leg up. Circles with the toes. Exhaling, left leg down, bending the knees, gaze between the hands, hop or step forward. Take a moment in your forward fold here, find your breath. Bending the knees as deeply as you'd like. Taking such big inhalations that your belly presses against your thighs. A nice massage for the internal organs. Again, awakening the digestive system. Give the thighs and the calves a little bit of a massage here. You can make fists with the hands and just slightly tap at the body, getting that lymph moving. 2 more big breaths. Make sure you're relaxed in the neck and the head. Inhaling, half lift, have a flat back. Exhaling, forward fold. Inhaling, reverse swan dive. Bent knees, hands up overhead. Exhaling, hands come to heart center in prayer mudra. Taking a moment here. Noticing the quality of your breath. Feel your heart pumping. A balance between your right and your left side. From here, we're going to come into tree pose. So spread the legs wide or the toes wide on the left foot. And then shift the weight over to the left side. Right foot can rest on the ground beside the ankle, rest on the calf, or even come up to the thigh. Taking whatever pose you feel you need today. Making a nice bend, just a little micro bend really in the left leg, rooting down through the left toes. Shine the right hip forward while the right knee pushes itself back. Breathing here. Lengthening through the head, shoulders rolled back and down. Right hand will come to the thigh. Inhaling, we'll lift that left hand up overhead. Staying here like this, or if you'd like, you can play with just exhaling and leaning over to the right side. Stay with your breath. Inhaling, rising back up. Exhaling, releasing with awareness and shaking it out. Very good. Spreading the toes wide on the right foot, rooting down through the 3 points of the foot, behind the big toe, baby toe, and the heel. Left foot rises, and it comes up to the same position that it was in the opposite side. This brings balance to our body, balance to our energy system. Micro bend in the right knee, left hip shining forward, left knee reaching back behind, lengthening through the ribs and the back, stacking the pelvis, the belly button, the heart and the head, shoulders rolled back and down. Left hand can come to the thigh, inhaling, right hand overhead. Find your breath. And on your next exhale, leaning over to the left side, reaching out through the right fingertips. Big breath here. Maybe you lose your balance. Having that joy of being. Everything is a play. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, release the hand and leg. Shake it out. Very good. Palms turn forward. Take a moment to connect with Anahata chakra. And if you can, just taking a moment to feel grateful for even just one thing. Grateful for this breath, for this body, for the ability to practice, for this technology which connects us together. Grateful for the sensations in your hands, the champagne bubbles in your face, the beat, beat, beat of the internal drum of the heart. Breathing into the heart space. And if you're not already, take a step to the top of the mat. And then step that right leg back, coming into a high lunge. Hands can rest on the hips, or you can lift them up overhead. If they're overhead, the pinkies are turned in towards each other, and there's a slight bend in the elbows. Take a few breaths here. And then slowly we're going to turn towards the left side, facing the left wall. Right hand comes out over left knee, left hand comes back over right leg. Big belly breaths, a nice squeeze for the internal organs. If you want to turn it into a balancing pose, you can close your eyes. Inhaling will unwind. Bring the hands down to the hips or alongside the torso and slowly shift the weight into the left leg, coming into warrior 3. Hands can stay at your sides. They can come out to a T or they can come overhead. Lengthening through the right heel, find your breath. Inhaling, we're going to rise up. Don't touch the right leg down. Lift the right hand or the hands up overhead, right leg up towards the chest. Find your breath. Cross the right ankle over the left thigh. Hands come down to heart center. Into prayer mudra and take a seat. There you go. Focus on something still out in front of you. 2 more big breaths. Inhaling, rise. Exhaling, release. Shake it out. Very good. Take a moment to perceive the difference between the right and left side. Your lunar and solar energies. Steady breath, steady mind. And when you're ready, step that left leg back, coming into a high lunge. Hands can come to the same place they did on the opposite side, on the hips or overhead. Nice, big, long, steady breaths. Take a peek down at your toes. You shouldn't be able to see them. Inhalation and exhalation equally lengthed. And then coming into that twisted high lunge, right hand reaches back, left hand reaches forward, gaze towards the right wall. Big belly breaths here. Inhaling, unwind. Hands can come down beside the torso or on the hips. Start to shift that weight onto the right leg. Left leg can float up off the ground, warrior 3. Bringing your hands in the same position that they were in on the opposite side. One more big breath. Inhaling, we scoop that left leg through. Hands come up overhead. Find your breath. And then cross that left ankle over the right knee. Hands come down through center in prayer mudra. Finding your drishti, finding a point of stillness out in front of you. Have a soft gaze and a steady breath. Don't lose your balance. Very good. 2 more big breaths. And inhaling, rise. Shake it out with a big inhalation through the nose and exhalation through the mouth. Flutter those lips if you'd like. Shake the hand, shake the head, shake the shoulders. Slowly coming to stillness. Feeling the energy flowing through the body. So bringing your hands to your hips. Step that right leg back, coming into Parsvottanasana. The right heel should root comfortably down towards the ground. And it's as though the feet are glued to the earth, but we're trying to kick the legs in opposite directions. Right leg back, left leg forward. Lengthening up through the spine. Right hand can come up overhead. The left hand stays on the hip. Engaging the core, we'll keep a flat back, hinge at the hips, and come forward. Find your breath. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, forward fold. Moving at your own pace, keeping that chin tucked in towards the chest. And when you're ready, you can let the back curve, bend the knees as deeply, and come to a forward fold. Nice, long, steady breath. Make sure you're relaxed and released through the neck. Can shake the head from side to side to help encourage this. 2 big breaths here. Bending the knees as deeply as you need to bring the right hand down to the ground. You can also bring the hand on top of a chair or a block. Left hand will reach up and overhead, gazing over the left fingertips if our neck feels comfortable, or out in front and down below. A slight balancing posture here. If you'd like the challenge, close your eyes. Big belly breaths. Exhaling, unwind. Hands come down to the ground. And then slowly start to shift the weight onto that left leg. Right leg can float up off the ground. And maybe this is as far as we go today. Or alternatively, you can start to play with lifting the leg a bit higher. Maybe stacking the right hip over the left hip. And then you can even play with reaching the right hand up towards the right hip or overhead. Half moon posture. Find your breath. Next, exhale, unwind and come back to that intense stretch forward. Hands can come towards the hips, flatten the back, and slowly rise up. Right foot steps up to meet the left. Go ahead and shake it out. Noticing the asymmetry in the body. Stepping the left foot back now, hands on the hips. Inhaling, left hand can come up overhead, keeping a flat back, the core engaged. We hinge forward. Inhaling, lengthening, exhaling, coming forward, pushing the legs in opposite directions. Micro bend in the knees, they're not locked. Tucking the chin. And when you're ready, bending the knees as deeply as you need and folding over that front leg. Shaking out the head to bring release in the neck. Allowing the back to curve as much as you'd like. Steady and equal inhalation and exhalation. Two more big breaths. And then slowly walking the weight over to the right leg, stacking right ankle, knee, and hip. Left foot can float up off the ground, or maybe start to play with lifting it a bit higher. Making sure there's a nice bend in that right knee. And really taking the same posture that you did on the opposite side so that you can have balance in the body. Wherever you are, nice long inhalations and exhalations. And on your next exhale, unwind, slowly bringing the hand back down if it was up in the air, stepping back, the left foot. Hands can come to the hips, engage the core, lengthen through the spine as you rise up on an inhale. Stepping the left foot forward, take a moment and shake it out again. Standing in your Tadasana, mountain pose. Feeling the breath. Blood pumping through the system, energy flowing, an awakening of the energy system, really. A balancing of Ida and Pingala, the lunar and solar energies. Interlace your fingers and turn the palms up towards the sky, bringing the hands up overhead. And when you're ready, lean over to the right side, the solar side, bringing your body into the solar side, the yang side of your being. 2 big breaths. Inhaling back to center, taking a moment to acknowledge the difference between the right and left side. And on your next exhale, leaning over to the lunar side, the yin aspect of your body and being. Nice, long, equally paced inhalations and exhalations. Inhaling back to center and exhaling, release. We're going to come into a pranayama that's called the breath of joy. So what you do here is you take 3 sharp, fast inhalations with 1 big exhalation out of the mouth. And as we do this, we synchronize the breath with some movements in the body. So I'll show you first. We inhale, hands forward. Inhale, hands to the side. Inhale, hands overhead. Exhaling, bend through the knees, blowing out through the mouth. And then you repeat. Inhale forward. Inhale to the side. Inhale overhead. Exhale, bending deeply through the knees, releasing through the mouth. Going as fast as you feel comfortable. Inhaling hands forward, inhaling hands to the side, inhaling hands overhead. Exhale, release. Do 2 more rounds like this. Inhale, inhale, inhale. Exhale, forward fold. And after your second round, coming back to meet me in Tadasana. We'll bring the hands out in front of us like we're a zombie, and we'll rise up onto our toes. Very simple, and yet it's still a balancing pose. Holding here, noticing your breath. And when you're ready, we're going to slowly bend those knees, staying up on the toes, coming down into a seated posture. Lowering very slowly. And then bringing the glutes over the heels. Hands can come down. Hug the knees. Bring the forehead in towards the knees. And when you're ready, come back onto your bum. One last balancing pose here. You can grab a hold of your toes or the outsides of your feet. And slowly rock back into that sweet spot between your tailbone and your sits bones. Squeeze your shoulders together as you shine your heart forward. You can stay here if you'd like, or you can also play with extending those legs. Wherever you are, whatever posture you're taking, see if you can find a point of stillness out in front of you, your drishti. Have a soft gaze. The eyes are just barely open. The ultimate drishti is when we can dissolve both seer and seen. It is not I gazing at an object, but it is I gazing at myself. 2 more big breaths. Maybe even closing the eyes. And then slowly bringing the legs down. And from here you can come down onto your back. Stretching the legs out. Bringing the hands out to a T. Bend your right leg or both legs. And then roll over onto the left side, turning the hips to the left, the knees to the left. Gaze comes over the right shoulder. Big belly breaths. Inhaling, unwind. Bringing the weight over to the right hip, rocking the knees over to the right side, gazes over the left fingers. Big belly breaths. And on your next inhale, unwinding and making your way into a shavasana or corpse pose. Alternatively, you can also come up into a seated posture with me. Grabbing a blanket or an eye pillow or anything that you might need. And feeling that with each exhalation, the body sinks deeper into the earth. The toes, bottoms of the feet, heels and ankles, melting down into the earth. Calves, shins, knees, thighs, hips, glutes, and pelvis, dissolving down. Belly, back, chest, and shoulder blades, releasing and relaxing. Tips of the fingers, palms of the hands, wrists, lower arms, elbows, upper arms. Heavy, soft, letting go. Shoulders, collarbones, neck, melting to the earth. Chin, jaw, cheeks, lips, nose, eyes, forehead, ears and scalp. Soft, heavy, relaxed. The whole body from the tips of the toes to the tips of the hair, soft, heavy, relaxed, surrendered to the present moment. And here in this simple Shavasana, without any effort, your body is integrating the gifts of your practice. The cells of your body are vibrating in harmony. Your right and left side are equanimous, shining both your lunar and solar aspects, balanced in being. You are full. You are complete. Energy flowing through the central channel. Healing happening in the body, mind, and spirit. Nothing to do. Nowhere to go. Rest in the present moment. Rest in the joy of your being. Slowly, some spontaneous movement comes into your fingers and into your toes. And when you're ready, you can roll over onto your left side, taking 3 big belly breaths. And after your 3rd breath, you can come up into a seated posture, keeping the eyes closed and the gaze inside. We'll finish with a prayer to Lakshmi, goddess of bliss and abundance, an embodiment of the joy of being. Om Lakshmi. Om Lakshmi. Shri Mata Parameshwari. Om Lakshmi. Om Lakshmi. Shri Mata Parameshwari. Om Lakshmi. Om Lakshmi. Shri Mata Parameshwari. And together we'll close with 3 Oms, feeling the Ah in the area of the heart, the Oo in the area of the throat, the in the area of Anya Chakra, the 3rd eye, and the silence radiating out of the top of your skull into the universe. Inhaling to exhale. Inhaling for 3 Oms. Hari Om, my Sangha siblings. May the bliss of this practice radiate with you off the mat into your day and be shared with all beings who come into your presence.